All right, so since I started doing these videos to try to get the smog year moved up, we've had a few of these bills in the state legislature here in California. It's always come up, hey Mike, wouldn't it be great if we can get a big name attached to this and help us out and try to get this passed? You know, somebody like a Jay Leno. All right, we got Jay Leno's involved now. It wasn't because of me, though. I'm not taking credit for this one. So I didn't think I'd be doing an update on this Senate Bill 712 as of yet, but here we are. Just yesterday, Senator Shannon Grove, her office put out a press release that the bill is now known as Leno's Law. I'm holding on, so I can't do the double quote, sorry. And since Jay Leno is now sponsoring the bill, of course, Jay Leno, very well known for he was the host of the Tonight Show on NBC for I don't know how many years. It was a very long time. He's also the host of Jay Leno's Garage on the internet and on, I believe, MSNBC. And so very big name to have attached. Very big, well-known car collector, obviously, and does a lot of great charitable things, and we're going to get into that. I'd actually done business with Mr. Leno over the years. My father knew him. My father used to work at a classic car lot on Ventura Boulevard in Studio City many years ago. Jay Leno would stop in with one of his cars, try to stump my dad. My dad always knew what it was. They would talk cars for a long time. And so I had a nice relationship with Mr. Leno. Of course, over the years, we'd see him at car shows and things like that. Many years later, I owned a scooter shop and motorcycle shop in North Hollywood. We did some scooters and some motorcycles for Jay Leno. And then when my dad passed in 2017, we invited Jay Leno to come over, see if he was interested in purchasing anything. He actually bought a 1961 Corvair ramp-side pickup that was a project vehicle. And he literally towed it back to his shop with like an old tractor he had. And he fully restored it, spent a lot of money. He still owns it. You can actually look it up on his channel. I think there's a video of the 61 Corvair ramp side. And at one point, he actually did us a solid. We had a scooter going out for a silent auction for a charity. And they said, is there any way we can make this scooter any extra special, like give it like a Hollywood twist? And I said, hey, I got a contact with Jay Leno. Let me see what we can do. So we got Jay Leno to autograph the scooter, and he let us come over to his garage, photograph him autographing the scooter, and it was a great thing. It was a big hit for this charity auction. So definitely a great guy. He does a lot of great stuff for people, a lot of great stuff for the collector car community. And that's what I have to say about Mr. Leno. And you know what else? He's the heart. He works his butt off. I tell you. Like, I wish I had half the work ethic of that man. So there you go. That's my thing about Jay Leno. I've done business with him. I do have to disclose that. I don't know if I have to, but I will say that. Now, they are calling it Leno's Law now because Jay Leno is sponsoring the bill. I will give the disclaimer. It is not currently a law. It is a bill. So we've always gone to that. Like, there's a difference between a law and a bill. Go watch Schoolhouse Rock. There's a great cartoon about it. It's a bill, and then it has to go through the state Senate, and then it has to be signed by the governor. So that's what we have. But we got Mr. Jay Leno behind us now, which is fantastic. So what this means is you definitely need to start sending those letters and emails to your state senator in support of the bill. I will put a link to the Find Your State Legislator. You just type in your address, it'll let you know who your local person is. Contact them. It just takes a few minutes. Just write an email saying, hey, please support Senate Bill 712. It will definitely help us to preserve these classic vehicles. Most of the representatives, they're not car people. Let's just be honest with ourselves. They're not car people. They don't know there's a problem. They don't know that it's getting more and more difficult to even get a smog station to do one of these tests. And of course the prices have been going up. So make sure you let them know it's a problem, and enough people tell them, hey, this is a problem, then we're going to get somewhere, especially now we got Jay Leno behind us. Like I said, big name for this fight, and now I think it's going to help us get some more press, and maybe we can get a word out there that there is an issue. Some things I'm going to update about last week's video pertaining to this topic. First of all, someone always comments whenever I make one of these about how all of a sudden, if you exempt a bunch of old cars, that all of a sudden the smog is going to go. It's not. There's a limited amount of these cars. They're not producing them anymore. Like generally, people just leave their. I have pre-smog cars that are still stock. I've got a pre-smog diesel truck, a '96. It's still stock. People generally don't mess with the stuff. It's a very small minority of people that do, and the ones that do are probably doing LS swaps, which would probably make it put out less emissions anyway. So let's just be honest. All of a sudden you do this, it's not going to be like some crazy bad thing if you exempt cars that are older than 30 or 35 years old. It's just not. So I've got people asking. I think people don't realize they've come across it, and they don't realize that what the problem is. So the problem is, in the state of California, smog stations have to pay to rent and maintain the pre-OBD2 equipment. That equipment is obsolete. It breaks down. They're still paying for it. The number of these cars is dwindling every single year, which means they see less and less of these vehicles, yet they're still paying for this equipment. The length of time to test one of these, because they have to be run on the rollers and they have to do the EVAP test, is much longer than a OBD2 car, where they just plug it in under the dash, it tells them everything is okay, and they just look at a few things and they're done. So in fact, we've got cases where people in the smog group and the Californians for Classic Car Smog Exemptions group say it's hard for them to find a place that'll do the test. They don't want to do it when they're busy. Their machine's down. There's always a list of excuses. I'm sure the people that run the stations would rather not have to deal with it, especially with the number of these coming up is decreasing. Another thing people have said, I guess I've seen a few of these videos. I'm not calling anybody out because that's not my style. But some people are misinterpreting on the federal level. I will say what I'm about to talk about is a federal bill, does not relate to Senate Bill 712, and it is not in the California State Senate. This is what I'm about to talk about. That is the Transportation Freedom Act bill in the U.S. Senate, which is still a bill, has nothing to do with vehicles that are already on the road or classic vehicles or anything like that. This was introduced by Senator Moreno from Ohio. It pertains to emission regulations, so the amount the emissions cars put out, and EV mandates from the 2027 model year and later. So future vehicles that have not been produced yet. I'm guessing it's too late to change things for 2026 since we're just about upon production of 2026 vehicles. And some people have inferred that it's going to shut down CARB or the BAR, Bureau of Automotive Repair. If you don't know, CARB is California Air Resources Board. If you don't know, we're not talking about carburetors. BAR is Bureau of Automotive Repair. It does not shut them down. Those are state agencies. That is on the state level. I looked through the bill, and in fact, I will do you one better. Even though it doesn't pertain to the bill that this video really is about, I will put a link to the press release from Senator Moreno from Ohio, and at the bottom of the page, so you can read about his press release about the bill. Bottom of the page, there's two links. One of them is a general outline of the bill, and the other one is the actual bill, and you can look at it yourself, and you can see it is about 2027 and later model year vehicles, not about emissions testing on older vehicles. So you can look at it and you can verify that, and so we still need to get Senate Bill 712, which is in the California State Senate, through to be a law. That way it will truly be Leno's law. So there we go. We also had comments about the insurance thing. I believe California and Florida are the only two states where Hagerty and maybe a couple other companies that do classic car policies require you to have a garage for collector vehicle policies. And I know a lot of them do not allow project vehicles. I've got a policy on my Pacer that does not require, it's from State Farm, did not require a garage, but they want pictures of the cars where they can verify it's at least like something you would take to a car show. They did require that, which I did, and I've had a classic car policy on that since I got the car in 2017, mostly because There was a bill at that time to exempt cars, I believe, up to 83 at that time for if you had a collector policy. So now, if this does go through, it would be a great business decision for companies that offer classic car policies to offer a policy for project vehicles and offer policies for vehicles that are not garaged in the state of California. Even if you have to do it as a liability-only policy and just say it's liability for a collector car that doesn't get driven, even if you have to reduce the amount of coverage because it's outside, even if you have to charge a little bit extra because it's outside, it would be a great business decision because something about project vehicles, eventually they get finished and they're just going to go get it reevaluated and up their coverage. Or maybe they'll, it's just good business practice to help out the car community. I realize Haggerty does a lot of car shows. They bought out Radwood, I think Concourse de Lemons and several other car shows and things like that. If you want to help the car community, that would be a fantastic way to do it, especially if this bill does go through. Another idea I have, and I'm going to put, this is at the end of the video, so we'll see how many of you guys are paying attention. Wouldn't it be great to do an event to get some notoriety about this bill? Maybe somebody might show up. I don't know. I'm not saying anything, but it would be great to do. Nothing's in the works. I didn't plan anything yet, but I can see what can be done. Even if we don't have a certain somebody, we just get a group together, maybe get the press involved. That would be fantastic as well. This would be in the preliminary planning stages. So I don't know how we do it because we got people obviously on this group, from all over the country. We got people watch my videos from literally all over the world. So I don't expect them to show up. This is mainly for about obviously a bill that is in the state of California. So that's what I got, a little bit of an update, some good news. Hopefully it does lead to better news. I'm going to keep you updated this as much as I can. So make sure you like the video, you subscribe to the channel, check out Californians for Classic Car Smog Exemptions on Facebook. Leave some really nice comments, nice comments. And until next time, I'll be seeing you.